1975. While the world was afraid of running out of food, a group of scientists in Washington made a startling declaration. They claimed they had found a plant, a mysterious tropical vine, that could single-handedly save the human race from hunger. They called it a supermarket on a stalk. Imagine a single plant that offers you more protein per acre than a soybean. But unlike soy, where you harvest just one product, this plant gives you everything. You can eat the leaves like spinach. You can saute the flowers like mushrooms. You can snap the young pods like green beans. And underneath the soil, it hides a root that has 10 times the protein of a potato. 5 different foods from one single seed. It sounds like a gardener's fantasy. But here is the haunting question. If this plant is so miraculous, if it truly is the holy grail of nutrition, why isn't it in your local grocery store right now? Why have you likely never heard its name? Is it poisonous? No. Is it impossible to grow? Not at all. The truth is, this plant has a bizarre biological clock that confuses modern farmers. It refuses to play by the rules of the industrial calendar. And because of this specific quirk, the modern food system decided to erase it. Today, we are going to uncover the story of the winged bean, and I will show you how to hack its internal clock to grow it anywhere. Welcome to Ancestral Garden. To understand the true value of this plant, we have to leave the modern supermarket aisle completely. We must travel back to the village gardens of Papua New Guinea and Southeast Asia. For our ancestors, this wasn't just a crop to be sold by the ton. It was a living pantry. Picture a typical morning in a time before electricity. They didn't have refrigeration to store their protein. They didn't need it, because the winged bean offered a fresh menu for every single stage of hunger. It begins with the green leaves, more nutritious than spinach, rich in vitamin A, harvested daily for a quick healing soup. Then, the flowers appear. Beautiful, pale blue blossoms that taste strangely and delightfully like mushrooms when cooked. Then come the pods. This is where the plant gets its name. They have 4 frilly, jagged wings running down the length, looking like green dragons sleeping on the vine. When young, they are crisp, sweet, and entirely edible. But if you let them mature, the seeds inside become a powerhouse. They produce a milk and an oil that rivals the best soybeans on earth. But the final gift. The final gift is buried deep underground. Most climbing beans have useless roots. Not this one. Dig it up at the end of the season, and you find tubers, crunchy, nutty, and distinct from potatoes or cassava, which are mostly pure starch. These roots are packed with protein. It was the ultimate survival kit. One seed, planted in the backyard, could feed a family for months. No factories required, just the sun, the soil, and the wisdom of the gardener. So, if this plant is a miracle, why is it extinct from our shelves? Why are we eating genetically modified soy instead of this ancestral treasure? The winged bean did not fail because of its taste, and it certainly didn't fail because of its nutrition. It fell victim to a ruthless editor called standardization. You see, modern industrial agriculture has a very specific geometry. It loves the flat. It loves the uniform. It loves the bush. Soybeans grow in low, neat little bushes. They ripen all at once. This means a massive combine harvester can roar across a field, cut everything down in seconds, and process tons of food without a single human hand touching the soil. The winged bean refuses to play by these rules. It is a vine. It is a climber. It demands a trellis to reach the sun. It grows indefinitely, winding and twisting, producing its food over weeks and months, not all at one convenient moment. A machine cannot harvest a winged bean. The metal claws of a combine would get tangled in the vines. It would be a disaster for the machine. And so, in the eyes of the food industry, the plant became a problem. We didn't choose soy because it was better for our bodies. We chose it because it was easier for our tractors. We sacrificed the supermarket on a stalk. We sacrificed 5 different food sources just to save a little bit of labor. We traded quality for speed. And that is how a plant that could save the world became a weed in the eyes of progress. But here is where the science gets interesting. And here is where the mistake of erasing this plant becomes a tragedy for our health. For decades, we have been told that the only way to get high-quality plant protein is through industrial soy products. We have been sold powders, isolates, and highly processed veggie burgers. But the winged bean proves that nature had already solved this problem. Let's look at the numbers. The mature seeds of the winged bean contain up to 37% protein. This is almost identical to the soybean. But there is a critical difference. The oil inside the winged bean is rich in tocopherols, which is essentially vitamin E. This is an antioxidant that protects the oil from going rancid inside your body. It is a stable, healthy fat. But I know what you are thinking. You are thinking about your own health right now. As we age, specifically past the age of 55, we face a silent enemy. Doctors call it sarcopenia. It is the involuntary loss of muscle mass. To fight this, we are told to eat more meat. But heavy red meat can be hard on an aging digestive system. This is where the winged bean shines. Its protein profile is rich in lysine. Lysine is an essential amino acid that is usually missing in most vegetables and grains. This makes it a complete protein. It effectively helps repair muscle tissue and synthesize enzymes without the heavy saturated fats of animal products. And it's not just about muscle, it is about the bones. We have been conditioned to believe that calcium must come from a cow, but the green pods of the winged bean, those crunchy dragons, have one of the highest calcium contents of any legume. Eating the steamed pods is like taking a calcium supplement, but one that tastes like sweet asparagus. However, I must be absolutely honest with you. I am not here to sell you a miracle cure. I am here to tell you the truth. And the truth is, nature does not give away her treasures for free. Like the soybean, and like almost every ancient legume, the mature seeds of the winged bean contain natural defense mechanisms. Scientists call them trypsin inhibitors. These are anti-nutrients that can block digestion if you eat the seeds raw. This is why you cannot just walk into the garden and chew on the dry, hard seeds. You must respect the plant. You must soak them. You must boil them. Or better yet, you can ferment them, just as the Japanese ferment soy into miso or natto. Heat destroys these inhibitors completely. Our ancestors didn't know the word trypsin, but they knew the method. They knew that fire transforms the seed from a defense mechanism into a food source. But the real scientific anomaly, the thing that baffles botanists even today, is the root. If you dig up a potato, you are digging up starch. It is pure energy, sugar waiting to happen. But if you dig up a winged bean tuber, you are finding something that shouldn't exist, a root vegetable that is rich in protein. In some varieties, the dried tuber consists of 20% protein. That is unheard of. For someone managing blood sugar or trying to watch their carbohydrate intake, this is a game changer. It offers the satisfaction of a potato without the heavy insulin spike. So, we have a plant that builds muscle, protects bone, and offers a low glycemic root. Science confirms what the villagers knew all along. This wasn't just food, it was medicine. And we traded it all for the convenience of a combine harvester. But there is a final secret to mastering this plant. Many American gardeners fail because the winged bean still remembers the tropics. It waits for the short days of winter to produce its pods. If you plant it in a long summer, you get leaves, but no beans. Do not let this stop you. You have 2 solutions. First, look specifically for day-neutral varieties. These have been bred to ignore the sun's angle and flower anywhere. Second, change your mindset. Treat the leaves as your summer spinach and the roots as your winter potatoes. Don't just wait for the fruit. Eat the whole plant. And a crucial tip for planting: the seeds wear a hard armor. If you just bury them, they may never wake up. You must use sandpaper to scratch their hard shell and soak them overnight before planting. You have to break the defense to let life begin. Growing the winged bean is an act of quiet rebellion. By planting this, you are stepping outside the industrial food chain. You are refusing the standardized menu chosen for you by machines. You are choosing a plant that demands patience, but rewards you with a complete diet. The supermarket on a stalk is waiting to return. The knowledge was never lost, only ignored.